Hi, my name is James Emery, and welcome back to our teleportation series. In this video, we're going to be setting up some branch statements that utilize the ground trace, and then we're going to create the calculators that will serve as our ability cooldown and regeneration that will eventually build up into the UMG power bars that you saw in the overview video. Alright, so let's get started. First thing that we're going to do is go back to our line trace, the teleport line trace, and we're going to put a branch right after the trace endpoint. What we're going to do now is pull in a touching ground. Boolean is the condition. Whenever you're touching the ground, it will play the teleport. And when you're not, we can just set a print string to say cannot teleport in the air. And an exclamation point for seriousness. Yep. Yep, so cannot teleport in the air. But can still teleport normally. Okay, so let's see what else do we need. No more branches to put up right now, not yet. So now we're going to get started on the power limiters, as I like to call it. So you need to create a new variable called ability limit. Compile. I'm going to set the default value at 100, compile it again. And now we're going to build the cooldown. Yeah, we're going to build the cooldown. Okay, sweet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to basically, actually, we need to set one more thing. We need to set a variable. This is kind of redundant, but I like to have redundancies sometimes. It's kind of a fail-safe whenever I'm coding things. So type in did teleport. I'm going to set it. Default value is there. This will always fire, but I just like to have it. Alright, so alright, we're going to get another one of these. So, did teleport, yes, so anytime he teleports. Alright, so now we need the ability limit. Let's get that. And we're going to set up a condition for this. So, if the ability is actually less than, that's not, we need less than or equal to 100. I'm going to plug this up. I can pull off the pen. Okay, so anytime that our ability limit is at 100 or lower, we're going to lower this by 25 units each time this function is triggered. So, and we're going to set this. And a few of you that have a keen eye will realize what will happen if we just leave it like this. What I mean by that is every time this triggers, it's going to keep knocking off 25 units from our 100 unit default value. The problem is that it will keep doing that. Since we don't have any clamps, it will keep going down past 0, and that's going to cause a bunch of bugs. So right click and type clamp, and you want to float. So this is what we're going to use. So now we have this clamp that bottoms out at 100 at 0 and maxes out at 100. So we set that up, and that's our first function. So all right, we need to make one more, which is the ability regeneration. Alright. So Now what we're going to do is pull off this ability limit, and we need a branch, obviously. It's going to be the same thing that we had last time. We're basically going to do this in reverse. So if you're actually, no, it has to be less, just less. So less than 100. What we're going to do now is get another one of these. Do the exact same thing, except this time we're going to add 5. And this is what you saw in the other video, to where it would regenerate 5 units per second. So now we need to set this, pull the clamp return value, and then plug it up. Alright, so these calculators are done for now. We're gonna come back to them later, because we're gonna add in a bunch more to this effect, and all of it's gonna become interconnected. So, but those are the calculators. We can set those up in here now. I'm gonna show you something that you're probably going to try to do. So let's get the ability cooldown. You're going to want to try to plug this up directly after this, because you have to call this function after you've teleported. And what's going to happen is that you're going to find out that you can't teleport anymore. We actually need to create a branch to see this. So, alright, pull out another branch. The ability limit is alright, so we need a less than. If it's less than or equal to 24, you're not going to be able to teleport. The problem is with this regeneration, this cooldown being plugged in this way, is it's going to play along with the timeline. Our calculator that takes away 25 every time you use it, it's going to trigger all 4 times over that timeline, and it's going to basically break our teleport. So we need to be able to see this. Not enough energy. Now we shouldn't be able to teleport anymore. See? It doesn't work. So, you might be thinking, how do we fix this? And it's actually pretty easy. Pull out a sequence node. And it's just happening because it's still pulling from this update node. As soon as you plug in the finish node and into a sequence and this will work. You can keep teleporting. You can teleport 4 times. Now you can't teleport anymore. So, but that's what we're going to do there. So, now we're starting to get into our power limiter. So, what we're going to do now is pull out the regeneration. And we're going to, once again, delay this. A second again. We're doing that same trick that we did before. Okay. Alright. So, but we need to be able to see what's happening here. So we're going to build a text string again. So build string, float, and energy. think this should work. Yep, you can see that it is in fact working. But now we have another bug. It's firing over and over again, which is something we don't want. So now we're going to create another. We're going to create a branch. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to set this. Yep. Actually, no. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Actually, don't even need to do this over here. So what we're doing now is, if the ability limit is at 100, going to put it to a branch. If it's not at 100, it will go into the ability Regeneration. So that will keep firing. And if it is at 100, it's going to stop. That way we don't have it just ticking away and just printing 100 over and over and over again. So this is what we should have now. 80, 85, so forth. It should get to 100, and it's still doing it. Why is it still doing that? Oh, that's why. I had that set at 1,000. Alright, let's see what it does. I'm really hoping it stops. And there we go. That bug is fixed. So now we have set up our calculators, our basic calculators, set up the branches to make sure that bug doesn't happen, and we set up an ability limit down here. So if you don't have if you don't have 25 ability units available, then you can't teleport. And we've set up our trace, so you can't teleport in the air. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.